Hello and welcome, Queen City Psychic Medium here, doing business as Cincy Psychic LLC. And I prepared a short video to share my story, and it is pretty spontaneous. I did not know I was going to do this today. And I woke up this morning, and a friend of mine hit my mind really, really strong. It was a friend named Chris. I only knew him for a short while. And he died back in 1986. And here is my story. And it's very, very interesting, okay? All right, so I was talking to Chris one day, and we were talking about how he loved to race cars. He was never in the big leagues, but he did do amateur racing, like at the local racetracks. He was interested in racing motorcycles, but he did not do that at this time. But he had an interest in pursuing it. So we were talking about racing, and he said the ultimate way to die and the way that he wanted to die was to go out on a motorcycle, quick and fast. And I said, no, okay, to myself, not to him. And I said, I strike that out of the law of cause and effect, because about a year prior to that, I learned how to strike things out of the law of cause and effect, which I will share with you in another video. I also was aware of free will, and if that's the way that he wanted to die, that was cool. That was his choice. However, I didn't want him to die, and I did not want him to set himself up just by saying those words and to put it out into cause and effect. Okay? Alrighty, so that's that. Let's jump forward. Months later. I had just moved, my first husband and I, into another studio apartment. So it was the day before payday, and we were pretty broke from moving and all that. So Chris came over, and he loaned us $20 to order a pizza. And we asked him, hey, you want to stay and eat the pizza? And he said no. So he went ahead and left. And when he said goodbye to us, I remember, locking eyes with him, and he got a lump in his throat when he said, see you later, and it didn't flow out. There was a lump in his throat. And I, in turn, and I knew it, I sensed it, and I, in turn, got a lump in my throat, and it was really weird, and I couldn't say, hey, see you later, in a positive way. It was strange. We knew something was up, okay? At least Chris and I did, okay? So he left. We ordered our pizza. It was a Sunday night. We had spent the weekend moving. A TV show that would come on called In Living Color. It would come on at 8 p.m. I love to watch that show every Sunday. So we ate our pizza, and I said, okay, it's almost 8. Let me get ready for the show to come on. So I went to the bathroom, and I washed my face. And so I'm washing my face, right? Okay. So I'm washing my face, and I look up, and my mind says, and I don't even think about it. That's the way it works for a psychic medium. There's no thought with it. When you do this work, you don't think. You just feel. You allow. You listen. Okay? So I didn't think about it. There was no thought. All right? And I lifted up, and I looked in the mirror at myself, and I went, Chris is dead. And then I just kind of did like a little smile. Not like a smile like I'm happy. Okay? And I finished washing my face. Heard the music coming on for the In Living Color TV show. So I finished up, walked on into the living room area, sat down, and I told my husband, I said, I'm glad you didn't go riding with Chris, because Chris had invited him. And he said, why? And I said, I don't want you to die. Okay, so the next evening, another friend of ours comes over who was roommates with Chris. Okay. And it was obvious he had been crying. And he said, Chris is dead. Okay. And Chris got hit head on PCH highway, okay, in California, riding the double yellow line, and then the truck was coming in the opposite direction, oncoming traffic, riding the double yellow line. So Chris got hit head on, and he died instantly, just like he wanted. Okay. Well, I was upset. We were all upset. So that's that. And I knew I had a premonition, and my husband knew as well because of what I had said to him. So I wake up the next day, and my legs are killing me. I can barely walk. My legs ache so bad. My entire legs, from my foot all the way up to my hips, ache so bad I can't walk. Okay? I don't want to go to work. I had 3 or 4 days, and I'm knowing it's because I'm upset, and it's because Chris died. But why am I doing this to myself? Okay? My emotions manifested on a physical level. And I did feel really guilty. I felt guilty when I was washing my face and I looked up and said, Chris is dead, like it was nothing. But then on the other hand, there was nothing that I could do to stop it. And that was his wish. That's the way he preferred to go out. There's only one way out, people, and that is death. Okay? The only way out of here is by dying. All right? So he got what he wanted. Okay? So I'm going to say like weeks passed, maybe a month, no way more than 3 months. So it was very soon. I'm asleep in my bed, and I'm in a studio apartment, and I wake up because Chris woke me up, okay, with 3 other men. All right. We went around the wall to my kitchen table, which there was only 5 seats because the one end was pushed into the wall because of space. Okay. Here's the tripping part. All right. Chris sat right here to the right of me. Okay, where I'm sitting is how it was. Chris sat, I'm at the end of the table by myself, 1 chair. Chris sat to the right of me. There was a man sitting next to Chris that never said a word. He never said a word. He had a great energy, very polite, never said a word. Okay, and I sensed he was a guide or an overseer. He was just watching what they were doing. Okay, so they were having a blast and joking. Okay, these men, because it was some other dude across from Chris, and then another dude. All right, and they were like Beavis and Butthead. And Beavis and Butthead, that show had never come out yet, and I never got into that show. Okay, so because I'm not a TV person, so I didn't, ever sit down and watch episodes of Beavis and Butthead. But they were like that. It was like, let's do this, let's do that. Very mischievous. The one was really mischievous, and the other one was a total follower. Whatever the mischievous one was going to want to do, the other one would follow. I could see that. And they were trying to get Chris. I don't know why they were wanting to hang out with him. I don't know if he knew them before, in the body that he had when he was here. So anyway, we're talking, and he's telling me how great it is, and all that. I don't remember everything that was said. Water, hold on. Little water. Ah, yes. Okay. So he was telling me how great it was and all this, and I'm like, oh my, I'm glad you're all right. And then the mischievous one, he tried to talk me into my body and was telling me how it's so lightweight you can fly around. And I was like, I'm doing that right now, right? And he flew across over not across, the room wasn't really big. Okay, so he flew to the other side of the room where you can now see my bed. All right, sitting at the kitchen table, you could not see my bed because there was a wall, half wall. Okay, so he flies up to the corner of the room, and I was like, whoa, because I knew, and I went boom. I mean, it's just thought. Okay, it's not like action, physical action in spirit. All right. These bodies so weigh us down. It's just thought. So I knew he just went boom, and he said, "See what I can do." And I knew he was because there's no secrets when you're telepathic. All right, and that's what happens in spirit. We are telepathic. All right. So I flew up, and I said no, and I saw he was going to try to get in my body, and boom, I got my body real quick. When I came back in my body, I did what I do quite a bit. The bed feels like it bounces, right? So I came back in my body, and I stopped him from getting in my body. I believe he was going to try to take my body over. Okay, which would not have been forever, but it could have been, something for me. And I'll tell you, if somebody came and told me this years ago or whatever, I'd go, I don't think so. You're nuts. Okay, I am actually very skeptical of a lot of stuff. The things that I have seen, I've heard of, and I would not believe it unless I saw it. Like gnomes, fairies, cherubs. But then I thought, well, where did this stuff come from? It's there. Humanity draws pictures of it. We have statues. It's there, right? So it came from somewhere. So it's opened me up a lot to accept things and go, wow, and to be a multidimensional psychic medium like I am. Anyway, so I got back in my body real quick, man. And what did I do? Of course, I jumped up out of bed and I ran around the wall there to the kitchen table to see if I could see them there. And of course, I could not see them with these eyes. But there's two things here that you should take with you is, and I guess I'll go a little bit more about my opinion and what I sensed with what was going on with them. But emotions manifest on a physical level. And I think that I just was not a grounded person. And if I would have knew to ground back then, and I would have just sat there and focused grounding, like grounding my tailbone into the chair and down into the earth, or grounding my feet to the ground, and then putting my hands on an inanimate object and allowing the excess energy just to flow out, that maybe my legs would have not ended up aching like that. But that's an example of emotions manifesting on a physical level. Okay. And what happens when we die, we don't have to go totally on. Okay. There's no time limit. Some people are ready just to move on, and they do. Some people are like, hey, let me explore some things. I do not believe all of our souls come from the same place. We have 4 different blood types. We have 2 RH factors. I will be talking about that in different videos. Now, the man that sat next to Chris, and he sat like this too. All right. And he felt, like an authority figure a little bit. He was mature. He was a mature soul, maybe ancient. All right. He was overseeing things. Hey, it just hit me right here, right now. What if he was there to kind of help us oversee me? Because he never spoke to Chris. They didn't act really like they were together. What if he was just, like a gatekeeper or something? Just, and not necessarily, because I don't think it was one of my guides, but then I can't tell you 100% for fact that I know that it wasn't. Okay, what if he was just like a watcher that's just making sure, policing it? I don't know. I thought he was just there to lead Chris the way. That's the vibe I got. So he was going to lead him, the way to go and keep him out of trouble with these guys in case something really weird maybe was going to happen. But anyway, it was a really tripping experience. I was very young. I didn't even know what a medium was. I knew I was psychic. I knew I didn't know how to use it. I knew I cut it off the best that I could because I was afraid of the stuff. Because, I didn't know, like, if dead people are coming around you, that's called mediumship, not a psychic thing, and that they're actually separate, even though it's a thin line. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my story. I'm glad to share it with you. And I just want to wish you all peace, unconditional love, prosperity, success, and be guided, man. Be guided, all right? Peace out.